Is hockey actually kind of popular now?
What is going on, everyone? Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast live from the Xfinity studio. We got Rudo and Bailey coming at you. Hockey is, or at least professional hockey, is officially done in the state of Colorado.
Unfortunate.
Sad day. The Colorado Eagles officially lost their Game 7 to the Chicago Wolves in the Western Conference Final. The Chicago Wolves will be moving on to the Calder Cup Final to play the Toronto Marlies. They held it to 7 games, at least.
Sure, we can say that they didn't blow it and lost Game 6 and 7 to not move on. We can say it that way.
Can that be a make me feel better kind of statement? Yeah, that's... I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's back-to-back games on a Sunday and Monday. That's essentially what it came down to, was the Eagles not being able to keep up with a high-pace, high-octane Chicago Wolves team. They just got better goaltending. They got better production up and down their lineup. They got... I don't even know if I want to call it decent production, because you're getting things out of guys like Wyatt Ahmet, Jason Poland, Jason Megna in that final Game 7. But where are some of the top guys when you need the most? Same story, different song.
I mean, it's tough. The way they blew Game 6, they had a 2-goal lead and threw it away. And then Game 7, they never led. They tied it in the third period for a short amount of time, and then it went the way that all Game 7 seemed to go for professional hockey teams in Colorado.
Can I ask you guys real quick, how do you guys feel about back-to-backs in a playoff setting?
No.
Dumb. They're dumb in all settings, to be honest.
They do suck during the regular season, I guess. Especially with a season like this last one, it's kind of necessary. There were so freaking many. That should not exist in a playoff setting, whether that's NHL, AHL, and it doesn't exist in the NHL because I guess they track that kind of stuff. They make sure viewership is the most important. That doesn't seem to be a priority for the AHL. Because not only did they have that back-to-back situation, they have both series playing on the same day.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
I mean, this is just the reality of minor sports, right?
Yep.
Like, they have very little power over when they play because a lot of these teams don't have their own building, unlike the Eagles, who thankfully do.
Are about to get a new one.
Yeah. A lot of these teams play in buildings they don't own, or sometimes buildings that are their parent clubs or owned by people that have other priorities, and they just kind of fit in these teams where they can, and that leads to back-to-backs and things like that in the playoffs. And it sucks. Like, obviously you want that to not happen, but the reality is that minor league teams of any sport, the margins are razor thin. Like,
yep.
There are a lot of minor league hockey teams that don't make money. It's tough. It's
well,
tough.
I mean,
out there.
look at the situation that was going on with the ECHL this year too, and all the CBA negotiations, because those players don't have the ability to get new gear when they need it sometimes, or they don't have it, they don't make enough money to sustain their families, and when they're traveling as much as they are, it's hard being a minor league athlete.
There are exactly 2 leagues in North America that you can make a living playing hockey. That's the NHL and the AHL.
Yep.
The ECHL, they have they subsidize things by, the league and teams provide apartments for players and you find ways to make it work, but you're not really making a living in the third best league in North America. Like, it's really, really tough out there. And I wish it wasn't that way. I wish there was more. I wish more people cared about AHL hockey and minor league hockey and stuff. And, everyone's going to say, oh, well, Canada supports all their teams. Not really.
No.
I mean, they care more than the average American, but we watch junior teams in Canada fold and move every year. Like, it's really, really hard, even in the most diehard of markets, to make anything but the very, very tip top of hockey work. And later in the show, we'll talk about how the NHL is actually doing possibly the best it's ever been. But minor league sports, this isn't just hockey. I know I'm talking about hockey because it's a hockey show and that's what we do.
Really?
But like,
crazy.
Baseball over the last decades, minor league systems basically imploded on themselves. Like, dozens of leagues had to fold and teams are extremely more limited now, and those guys don't make any money. Basketball has the G League is their only other semi-professional league in North America. Football straight up just uses college as their like second league, and we've seen in football like a handful of leagues try to get started and they all go bankrupt within like 2 years.
Yep.
It's just really, really hard.
Yeah. There's no other way to explain that. I will say I do think Colorado specifically has it easy. Because they do have a lot of support for not only the Colorado Avalanche, so they're making the best out of medium-sized market compared to some of the other big teams in the league. But the Colorado Eagles specifically have a really large market up in Loveland. Like, Northern Colorado folks know how to put on a show and put out the support that the Eagles are really looking for. It's why you see them putting so much money into getting this new arena that they're building and putting so much time and effort into making sure they have a good product to give to their team and give to the fans.
Yeah, it's, the Eagles definitely have the benefit of wealthy ownership that, yes, they view the Eagles as a product that they want to make money from, but they also have the deep enough pockets that it's not, oh, we have to make X amount from this team to survive. But the way the Eagles have been built it should be the model for success for most minor league teams. They started off in what was the Federal Hockey League at the time. They played in the Central Hockey League as well. Then they moved to the ECHL. Through their entire existence, this is a team that has never missed the playoffs in whatever league they've been in. Most of the leagues they've been in, they've been successful enough to win. They make the conference finals in the AHL for the first time this year. You have to be successful as a minor league team. If you're a bad minor league team, nobody cares.
Nope.
So the Eagles have really done a very good job of making sure they're always competitive and always a good show to go watch.
Yep.
And that's why they're in such a successful position. That's why they, after years and years and years, earned being part of the Avalanche organizational structure. And now, when you have that support from an NHL team, especially one right nearby, there's a lot more security to it. It feels a lot better. Things are a lot more solid. But the Eagles themselves are super fun, super enjoyable. I'm super glad that we have that in Colorado. It's, especially for minor league teams, it can be hard to play in places like Colorado because travel is not easy.
Nope. That's just the West in general, too.
But you can make it work despite Denver being extremely high cost of living. Fort Collins isn't quite there yet. They live in, Windsor technically, but the players live in that area. It's fine. It is, not unreasonably priced to live there. So when you have guys making $70,000 on two-way deals in the AHL, they're not like screwed.
Right.
More than I make. So
there you go. I will say, Fingo here in chat brings up a great point in saying having our AHL team being just up I-25 is a superpower. That's also the case for the ECHL team. coming for the Avs next year too. It's
a little further.
Further. It's more like 6-7 hours than the 1 or 2 or 3, depending on what time you're leaving to get up to Loveland. But yeah, the go-aheads. That's going to be an interesting dynamic, having that all kind of connected. It makes the term hockey highway feel that much more special. Yeah, because not a lot of teams have that.
I mean, I think that's certainly a more interesting conversation. The Eagles were just a successful individual organization for most of their career and just stepped up through the ranks. When you look at opening up a new ECHL team and trying to tie those things to an NHL team, make no mistake, they're also testing the waters. Like, if New Mexico can sustain an ECHL team, maybe can sustain an AHL team. Maybe a decade down the line, there's an NHL expansion possibility there. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. There's numerous cities before Albuquerque that are on the list of potential expansion for the NHL. But that's how things start. The Wranglers in Vegas 15 years ago was before anyone had ever considered putting a top-level pro team in Vegas. Those are the first stepping stones for any organization to start moving towards doing that. And with hockey in particular being the smallest of the big 4 sports in North America, you have to be willing to take more risks with stuff like that. And sometimes the end outcome of those risks is it fails. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how that expansion is coming along at all levels. And it's tough. I don't think you're ever really going to see a super successful 3rd-tier league in North America because there's just too many other options. The world is too small now. If you can't hack it in the NHL and the AHL, you can go play in Europe. The Nordic leagues pay pretty well. You have Germany, Switzerland pay living wages that you can go play hockey in. There are a handful of other places that you can live and play hockey. But it's every time you see this expansion, every time the game grows a little bit more, it's better for everybody.
Yep. Some other kind of Eagles news before we move on to the NHL Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Kim Weiss, officially not with the organization anymore. She started out as a video coach for the Eagles this season, was promoted to an assistant coach, and got to stand with Letestu behind the bench up in Loveland. Now she is a head coach in the league. Very excited to announce that she will be the new head coach of the Las Vegas PWHL team. Huge honor.
Yeah.
For her. She was breaking some barriers in the NHL and AHL as being one of the only 2 women behind an NHL bench or AHL bench with an NHL organization. And it's a well-deserved position for her to go and lead her own team now.
Yeah. I'm salty because there's not a Colorado team in this expansion, but
I wholeheartedly agree.
But yeah, it's awesome to see the success of hockey, and I think we'll get into it a little bit later, but the PWHL seems to be doing well, stable and growing, and Tiff gets to be happy about the Victoire winning, so
I told AJ the other day, the heartbreak of everything, I think the Victoire winning helps 2%. It makes me feel just
that much better.
Tiny little bit better.
I'm still depressed,
I'm
but
still
not
depressed,
as depressed.
but it's just like a little light. It's a little flicker in there.
The ember is still burning, at least for hockey. No, I've had a couple different opportunities to meet Kim, and one of the more knowledgeable minds in the hockey community. If there's anybody who deserves their shot at being able to lead their own team and kind of getting to build an organization, or at least help build an identity for a team on the ice, it's Kim.
And it's a labor of love for the people that work in and around minor league sports of any kind, but I'm just familiar with hockey. Like, I've worked with a lot of people. I cover the Eagles and the ECHL myself and all of those guys. When the Avs AHL affiliate was the San Antonio Rampage. I worked with a bunch of guys that covered them, and there's not a lot of glory down there, man. There's a lot of, you go to work and put your nose to the grindstone and you kind of get nothing for it a lot of the time. And nothing but respect to all of those people that are grinding away, whether it be for organizations or covering the organizations, because they just go do it because they love it. There's no questions of why or how. You just figure it out and you enjoy it, and hopefully it doesn't come to an end in the way that it does sometimes. But in Colorado, again, we're very, very lucky to have the teams that we have, and savor them. I know it's hard when all your teams lose in the conference finals all the time.
Thanks for the reminder.
But things could be so much worse.
Yeah. No, it feels like trailblazing a new era of sports when you see this much love and time and effort getting poured into something like the PWHL, like the ECHL, and you see people going to war for these organizations as much as they are. Want to talk about hockey, at least relevant hockey, a little bit more before we get into next year's stuff.
We still can, yeah.
We still can, but first we got to hit our first ad break of the show, so let's go shout out some sponsors.
The official vehicle of DNVR is Toyota, and they're also the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche. They've got a vehicle for everyone, whether it be the trucks that have been in their DNA for generations, like the Tacoma. Maybe you're looking for an SUV like the 4Runner, or anything else in between. You can even go down to sedans, whatever you're looking for. They've got 17 different vehicles with all-wheel or four-wheel drive available. And of course, they also have 16 different hybrids, more low and zero emission vehicles than anybody else out there. You can even get hybrid trucks like the Tundra iForce Max. So whatever you're looking for in a vehicle, Toyota has you covered. You can go visit your Front Range Toyota stores, including AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, Toyota, not just the official vehicle of DNVR, but the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche and the Denver Broncos. Go to those Front Range locations. Toyota, let's go places.
Once you've got that brand new and shiny Toyota, you might want to go and celebrate getting yourself a new car. And that's where STK Steakhouse can help you out here. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, they've got a couple happy hour deals going for you during their specific hours. Sunday through Thursday is 2:30 to 6:30 and 9 p.m. to close. And Friday and Saturday from 2:30 to 5:30. They've got $3, $6, and $9 happy hours. So they can help you out wherever your budget may stand. They are also open late after game days, so whether you're celebrating or commiserating after a win or loss for the Nuggets, Broncos, or Avalanche, they're open to give you whatever you need. Their steak night includes a 3-course meal plus a glass of wine at $69 per person, which if you go to steakhouses regularly, you know that's a pretty fantastic deal. They also have some seasonal menus. So if you're tired of the same old, you can get some new items on your palate whenever you go in. If you're going in January versus June, they'll have something new for you. They are open on all holidays, so don't let falling through Thanksgiving plans or Christmas plans. Don't let it take away from the vibe. They can help you out. And they also have a DJ every single night. So if you're looking for food with a vibe, they've got you covered. Private dining spaces for corporate events or social celebrations are available as well. So be sure to go make your reservation or learn more at stksteakhouse.com. And we're back here at the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I guess getting into some more relevant hockey news that doesn't necessarily pertain to Colorado hockey. We got a game 4 on our hands between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Vegas Golden Knights. Something I want to point out while we're transitioning from AHL to NHL hockey is that the Carolina Hurricanes organization could become the first organization in NHL history to win both a Stanley Cup and a Calder Cup in the same year.
We'll see if it happens. But
with the way Vegas is kind of beating up on Carolina right now, I'm a little skeptical of that. Carolina has shown they can hang, at least. Or at least can try to hang and get themselves back into a game to hang.
Yeah, I mean, the series has been a little bit wild. The end of game 3 was just nonsense, right? Like, that game could have gone either way at the end. And absolute Vegas lucky horseshoe continues on that front, but also, that was a game Carolina was down 4 goals in. So there's some context there,
Yeah.
but
Just a little.
it's hard to watch these cup final as like Avs people, but the hockey is quite entertaining.
Yeah.
It's been a good cup final. As far as like a watchability standpoint and storylines and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of fun going into it. I think that Vegas just seems to be the team of destiny. Like whether they play well or play bad, it just doesn't seem to matter.
Nope.
And things go their way and they figure it out. Now, I think Carolina's capable of coming back, but every time I went through this playoffs discrediting Vegas, they keep winning. So what do I know?
I fully thought I didn't watch much of Game 3 the other day, but I remember looking down periodically at the score, and I was like, "There's no chance. There's no chance Carolina comes and does this." And I love being proved wrong. I really, from a watchability standpoint, from a viewership standpoint, you're looking at these two teams heading into the Stanley Cup final, and it truly is like who the hell cares kind of thing.
Apparently a lot of people.
Apparently a lot of people care. And I'm saying that as like somebody who was one of those like, haha, I told everybody this would be fun kind of people.
Yeah.
But it truly is turning out to be exactly the kind of series that I thought it was going to be. It's physical, it's exciting, it's high octane. You're seeing all the players that you wanted to emerge slowly start to get there.
Yep.
On Vegas's front, I guess they've kind of been doing that. I mean, Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel, they've all been crazy good during this entire run, not just for this series. Mitch Marner, natural Hattie in a little over 6 minutes is crazy too. It's turned into a must-watch series for people who are fans of high-paced, interesting hockey to watch.
Maybe the Marlies winning the Calder Cup will allow Toronto to just ignore it, but Mitch Marner's about to win a Conn Smythe in his first year out of Toronto.
Yeah, it has to be Mitch Marner, right?
Yeah. If Vegas wins, it's Mitch Marner, no doubt.
Yeah.
How damning is that for the Toronto landscape of their organization, of a guy that they ridiculed for his playoff performance to leave and immediately do this is borderline couldn't make this up. Like,
no,
if you wrote a book about it, people would read that storyline and be like, "That's not real."
I couldn't have written the script better myself. Kind of situation.
Right. Like, that's crazy that it worked out that way.
This has to be a situation when you look at Vegas visiting Toronto in the future that fans are just furious.
Yep.
I don't know as though there's any other way to put it. I mean, you saw how angry he got in the last playoffs that he spent with Toronto, and getting to the point where he's screaming at his teammates, and just now you're seeing him lead a team, physically like carrying them on his back. Kind of performance from Mitch Marner through these playoffs. It's good for him.
Yep.
If this was going to be like a turnaround, I'm making a name for myself kind of story in the NHL, like this is one of my favorite ones of the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's fun stuff like that like the league needs more of. And there's some I get it. I get coming from a place of like, I don't care about the drama off the ice. I'm a hockey nerd who wants to watch 100 hours of footage and break down what happens on the plays. But for a wider audience, for more storylines, you need stuff like this in the league. And a storyline like Marner like that, it just brings a lot more intrigue. And there's a lot more interesting stuff going on when it comes to stuff like that. Carolina doesn't really have a same storyline quite like that one, but they still have
that one.
They still have interesting ones. There's still some cool stuff happening in that roster where you have the old guy Jordan Stahl trying to do it one more time. But, Seth Jarvis gets to play the hero in game 2 after for the rest of his playoffs. There were some not the best conversations going on about him in the first couple of rounds, and we'll see how the rest of this series plays out. This was pretty much a must-win game 4 for Carolina. Otherwise, it gets real tough. I don't know that I have belief in Carolina anymore, but every team I have lacked belief in always comes and wins so far this playoff. So we'll see.
Except the Avs.
Is it going to be Bussy?
It has to be.
Yeah.
So he was in the starter's crease for practice yesterday, for what it's worth.
Well, they said maintenance day for Freddie, which what does that even mean? But
Freddie Anderson, I learned not to read between the lines with that man, just because I mean, you said it yourself for every single podcast we've done where we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Can Freddie Anderson stay
Everyone
healthy?
just waiting for it to happen.
It seems like writing on the wall, or I don't want to read too much into it, but it seems like Bussy's earned his shot after last game, which you've seen Coach Bednar talk about the kind of spark that can create in a team with just changing the goaltender. It's not just the goaltender putting on a fantastic performance.
Sure.
A lot of that has to come from the team in front of you as well. And Carolina rallied. There's no if and or but about that.
Yeah, I mean, the fact they made that game at all close was impressive, let alone getting it to overtime. And
it would have been, I believe, the first time in NHL history where a team had come back from a 4-0 deficit to potentially win a game. Carolina was putting themselves in a lot of history talks.
And then the luck said no. So.
Which tends to happen in Vegas, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe there's...
You get into a double overtime game and weird stuff like that happens, right?
Yeah.
But boy, does it seem to bounce the way of Vegas a lot this year. Not that they haven't earned it. Yeah, you make your own luck to a certain extent, for sure. But the way that game ended was just tough.
It's hard to watch. We talked about Mitch Marner being the standout for Vegas right now. Who is the closest comp for Carolina? Because my answer is probably Logan Stankoven.
Sure.
But
it feels like a little bit of the spark of that Hall, Stankoven, Blake line has kind of, the sheen come off it a little bit in these cup finals. But Carolina is such a... Vegas relies on individual players to make individual plays a lot. Carolina is much more team-based, that it needs to be a little bit of everyone. And that makes it harder to pick out like, oh, this guy is truly putting the team on his back in a certain way. So I don't know that I would have a single person to pick.
It's fair.
Depending on how this game 4 goes, it might be Bussy. But that hasn't happened yet. Right. So we'll see. And I don't know. This finals has been weird too. So many blown leads, not just the 4-goal lead, obviously, but both games 1 and 2. Game 1, Carolina had a 2-goal lead. Game 2, Vegas had a 2-goal lead. Just a lot of no lead is safe right now in the NHL. I think this leads to a larger conversation that we'll get into of how the current state of hockey in the NHL is in a really good place for entertainment value. And that's good. As much as I hate watching Vegas win, that is really good in the long run.
I mean, we're seeing that, and again, we'll get more into this too, but the cap going up.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more that plays into this and shows just how many more eyeballs are on the NHL right now.
And I think it's, no offense, but Carolina is often a team that
doesn't draw a lot.
Yeah. They're not. Yeah, we've built I think a great culture here at DNVR, and we see how fans, not just in the States, but across the globe, root for the Colorado Avalanche. I don't think there's as much of that for Carolina.
Carolina's really passionate about Carolina.
The local, absolutely.
Yeah, like they've created a really cool, and again, I have a little bit of personal experience to attest to with this.
For
like
sure.
Just seeing the way that the the stadium series sales went out. Like Carolina fans showed up and out for that, but it doesn't feel like there's that same respect across the league that other teams like the Colorado Avalanche have. And maybe that has to do with generational talent as well, or the superstar
Definitely
talent that
some of that,
Carolina lacks, to put it plainly.
But it's for a team like that to do the numbers that the Cup final is doing is it's super encouraging for me. I don't know. I know this is part of our next topic that I keep like wanting
I was
to
going
jump
to say, I want to stick to the final a little bit more before we get into specific viewership numbers. We do have to hit our second ad break of the show, though, so let's go shout out to more sponsors and get back to the Stanley Cup final talk.
We're live in the Xfinity studio, and we are also sponsored by Xfinity, obviously, but specifically their 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like a super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And most importantly, it lets you stream the game even when the whole family is online. All of your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And the best part is you get no annual contracts, you get no hidden fees, and you get Xfinity's best equipment included. So you get all of the good stuff from Xfinity on the good Wi-Fi. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable and the price should stay put. You can lock in your price and unlock more possibilities with Xfinity today. Of course, select plans only, restrictions apply. But get on over to Xfinity.com and get your 5-year price guarantee locked in. It's the same price for 5 whole years with Xfinity. That's what the 5-year price guarantee is. Xfinity, imagine that.
Professional hockey may be over in the state of Colorado, but your not hockey, but sports journey may just be beginning. And that's where our friends at Volo Sports can help you out. Volo Sports is Denver's leading provider of adult social sports leagues, pickup games, and community events. Sports offered include volleyball, soccer, kickball, pickleball, basketball, and more. Playing with Volo is the perfect way to meet new people and build relationships, stay active in a fun environment, and mix up your after-work routine. You were in a kickball league.
I was.
Weren't you?
That was last summer. Look, I'm a lazy person, so I'll probably go with like cornhole or something this year, but
cornhole's still fun. That's
Exactly.
competitive. Summer weather, heck yeah. Leagues and events take place all around Denver, including Sloan's Lake, Rhino, Lodo, Highlands, City Park, and South Broadway. Players can sign up as a free agent or gather a team, and all skill levels are welcome. Use code AVS15, that is AVS15, for $15 off your first Volo Denver League at www.volosports.com/Denver. Also, if you are looking at supporting our friends at Volo, be sure you guys are signing up for DNVR Field Day on June 27th. All of our hosts, besides us, we're going to be providing you guys some NHL draft coverage, but everybody else will be there. They've got a 3-legged race, speed volleyball, cornhole relay, and a lot more surprise challenges. Super exciting opportunities for you guys to come and hang out with the crew at DNVR. Be sure to sign up. Teams require a minimum of 8 players, 10 recommended. There are some prizes available for you guys as well. Field Day champions at City Park. Go and sign up today at, like I said, June 27th. It's going to be a ton of fun. And we are back here at the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Like we mentioned, game 4 before this thing goes back to Carolina. As far we've talked about, I guess, 2 or 3 of the standouts between the two teams so far, but it really seems like Vegas does have the edge here in this series.
I mean, beyond the Freddie stuff, kind of what we were getting into is this is the same problem that rears its head for Carolina every year. Okay, you're in the Cup final, you're battling it out, you're playing in these close games. Who's the guy?
Right.
Who's the guy that's going to step up and score that big goal for you? Feels like Vegas has a million guys. Eichel, Marner, Hurdle, Stone. They're getting big goals from a lot of their big players.
Yep.
Like we said, their best second line on the planet has gone a little bit quiet in this series. Frankly, on the offensive side, I haven't loved Aho's series at all. Mm-hmm. I just don't know that they have the guy for the moment. And I hope they prove me wrong and go out and smash game 4 and then we have a series. But if you make me pick, I'm picking Vegas for game 4.
Right. No, that's what I guess is so strange to me too, is you expect to see guys like Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov step into the role of a goal scorer just a little bit more. And Seth Jarvis took lead of that when he netted that overtime winner.
If you're picking a guy, I guess it's him, right?
Right. It has to be. Like, that's what's so confusing to me about if you're asking me who the guy is for Carolina. Again, Logan Stankoven is really the guy that's leading everything. Like, that's just not the expectation.
Yeah, can you win if he's the guy?
Yeah. That's, I don't know. Like that's what it comes down to for me. For what it's worth, they got a little bit more scoring out of a couple of their guys. Jordan Martinook gets his second goal of the entire playoffs. Andrei Svechnikov with only 4. Like that.
Yeah, you need more.
You absolutely need more from guys.
The lack of effective hockey Nathan McKinnon played at times during this playoffs. He scored 7 goals. And we're like, we need more out of that dude.
Right. Like, that's your top guy. And he's not doing enough, or at least one of your top guys, and not doing enough. For what it's worth, I mean, I don't expect Jordan Martinook to be going out there and scoring goals every game.
But like, of course.
Right. But that's the guy who's showing up for you.
Yep.
And like, I'm expecting to see Sebastian Aho with a goal at least every other night, if not every night. He's picking up assists here and there. He just got his 6th assist.
It's not enough, right? Like, the Carolina conversation was, are they finally going to break through? And I think when they won their conference finals, I was like, look, if they're going to win a cup, it has to be now. Otherwise, it might be never. And
I mean, it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
If they're going to do it.
Unfortunately, it looks like it might be never.
Yeah.
Which
I don't want to speak too soon about that, because I know the capability is there.
They'll be back in the conference finals next year.
Right.
They'll be like, we're going to do this again.
It's the era of Rod Brindamore hockey.
Right.
Like that's what it comes down to for me.
Maybe some good perspective for Avs fans too, of like, you won one. Would you rather be Carolina or Colorado?
Right. In this current era.
Yeah.
Like, that's, Avs have a cup and they got close to it again.
Yep.
So I don't want to bring up the whole, Jared Bednar MMA thing, whatever. But
too bad, because it's going to keep getting brought up all offseason. It's happening whether we like it or not.
But like, that's my point, right? Is like, you have this current era of Avalanche hockey being led by Jared Bednar, where the Avs are continually part of that conversation. Yeah. That's the same conversation that's following the Carolina Hurricanes around, I should say. And it's not necessarily like there's a reason that they are staying so relevant without the star talent that the Colorado Avalanche have, the star talent that whoever, insert star player on a team here. Mm-hmm. And it's because the style of play that Rod Brindamore emphasizes. It's not the prettiest. It's not the most interesting to watch, but there's a reason that Carolina has been so successful in this Rod Brindamore era.
Yeah, it's, one of the ways we track time is in sports. The greatest to never win it, right? This is usually more of a player-driven conversation. Iginla, Joe Thornton. When you get the guy over the finish line like a Ray Bourque in Colorado, it's a huge, huge, huge storyline. And I'm weird for Avs fans, but for a long time, this was the story for Detroit until they finally won theirs and got over the hump. They were going to be the team that was one of the best to never win it. And that's kind of where Carolina is drifting into at this point. If we get 10 years from now and Carolina doesn't win one, you're going to look at this era of like, this team made 5 conference finals, if you go back a little bit extra. And if they never get it across the finish line, they're going to be known as one of the best teams to never win the Stanley, or cores, however you want to define it, to never win the Stanley Cup. someone's got to be it. Personally, I want Carolina to win the series, but the way it's played out so far, I have lost the faith. So at what point do you have to fix it?
Yep.
And this is the same conversation Colorado, different obviously because they won a cup. But if Carolina loses in the cup final this year, are they going to try and run it back for the most part? Yeah, probably. The same way the Avs are going to try and run it back next year after their conference final loss. But if you lose again the next year, for Carolina, you're talking about the better part of a decade that they've been close, but not close enough.
Yep.
At a certain point, you have to make the hard decision and say, it's over. Like these guys can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where is that line? I won't pretend to know for Carolina. I feel like I have a better gauge of where that is for Colorado. And we're an Avs podcast, so I'm going to talk about the Avs a little bit. These lines are gray areas. There's never a hard line of like, it's done, even if it feels that way sometimes, like after that conference final loss. I certainly think the Avs will have a chance next year, and then we'll see. That could be the last year, depending on what moves get made.
The
depending
window
on
is
how
just
things shape up.
barely, yeah.
Right. So hard decisions have to get made. And those decisions for the Avs, I think, are a lot easier than the ones in Carolina.
Yep.
Unless, again, they win. And then still hard decisions have to get made, but nobody cares because you won.
And there you go. Before we get into our last topic of the show, just kind of talking about the direction that viewership and everything's going. Rudo, do you know what today is?
Now I have to go get Taco Bell.
We've got some friends who are shouting out some new items here at Taco Bell. Want to throw it on over to them.
Taco Tuesday at DNVR. Summer just tastes better with our friends over at Taco Bell. I don't have to tell you what this is. You just see the color and you already know what this is. That's right. It is a frozen Baja Blast. We also got, you want to take a look at these, Dion?
No, hey, don't just sleep on this Baja. This is the tropical lime flavored Baja Blast right here. Yes, sir.
But take a look. Right here, strawberry Cinnabon Delights. Warm, poppable pastries coated in strawberry flavored sugar filled with rich Cinnabon cream cheese frosting. I mean, Scotty. Yeah?
Still warm, soft. You taste the strawberry sugar on the outside, the cream cheese filling. This is fire. This is an elite dessert snack, whatever you want to do. Taco Bell did it again.
You already know they got you covered with tacos, the Baja Blast. Now dessert. Coming to you now at Taco Bell.
Yeah. Now I want Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's a problem. Sometimes our sponsors are a problem because now I have to go get a Lux box.
You know what's it's crazy too because our show moved to noon.
Yeah,
and now
it's
I have
lunchtime.
I actually have an excuse to be like, no, I'm really hungry after our show. Maybe this is where I stop. It's really dangerous.
Bailey, what's your favorite Mountain Dew variant?
Baja Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Mountain Dew is just gross to me, but
I can see that
one
for
I
sure.
can tolerate.
I was telling Rudo and Bailey off camera, Voltage is mine.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite is just normal Mountain Dew, but I do like Voltage. I'm old enough to remember Pitch Black.
Oh, crazy.
Was it Mountain Dew that was doing the like dirty Mountain Dew?
Yeah, you can get it at my grocery store.
I
You
saw
can
it
buy
at King
yeah.
Soopers the other day, and I don't even know what it is. Is it like cream soda or something?
I haven't gotten it. I can tell you
so
from
strange to
experience,
me.
Mountain Dew does not mix very well with alcohol. As someone who likes Mountain Dew a lot, don't do that.
Every boy of growing age, when they try alcohol for the first time, tries to mix it with Mountain Dew, I feel like. And it's always a
disgusting.
bad combo.
No, that never. Anyway, viewership. I feel like this transitions nicely, as we were saying. Like this year in particular for the Stanley Cup Final has been very interesting to me because they've had some of those record-breaking or at least record-pacing numbers for Game 1 is the first one I think of, over 1 million viewers.
you go back to some of the Avs games in round 1 and 2 that were doing record round 2 numbers for the NHL and stuff like that. It's really good. For the Cup final, it's actually outdoing some of the early NBA rounds, which
Doesn't happen.
right. The NBA playoffs usually crush the NHL playoffs in viewership numbers, and the NHL has actually been competitive in that sphere, which is huge. And I know there's a difference between being on ABC and being on TNT. There's like when you're on the national broadcast versus like technically national but actually cable broadcast, there's a little bit of a difference. But the NHL is the hottest product it's been probably in my entire adult life right now. It's super duper popular. Things have set up super duper well. There was, I believe, game 1 of the Cup final had 4.5 million viewers, roughly, which is huge, especially considering the crazy carrier dispute thing going on with DirecTV and Disney Plus. Like,
I found out about that for the first time yesterday. I went bowling and I was
Yeah.
like, what is this?
yeah. So the NHL, for all of their shortcomings, have done a really good job of expanding the sport and getting it out there with things like the World Cup. Obviously, the Olympics helps them a ton. Maybe we're getting in their own way for far too long with that one, but hey, they're in the spot where they're supposed to be now.
I feel like it's been this interesting trajectory here too of like we see the sport spike a little bit after the Four Nations
Yep.
because you get that particular like USA Canada rivalry.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you even see that take a step further after the Olympics too, and getting these guys who have been barred from national competition for a while now,
Yep.
finally in a place where they can put themselves on a
At least
national,
meaningful
international
competition.
Yeah, right. But put them on an international stage. And not only are you getting, more people, I feel like this is the most I've ever been able to talk to people who don't watch hockey about my job. And they're like, hockey is so much fun, dude.
It's
Like it's insane. And I need to get into it more because it's such a fast sport. People are allowed to hit each other all willy-nilly. That's crazy. And like people are the most excited I've ever seen to talk about
it's
it.
very interesting. Like in my sphere of friends, there are more people than ever that are actually watching. Not just the NHL, but the Avs, I think, are the most popular they've been probably ever by default. You want to compare number of fans. It gets hard with
Right.
eras 1 and 2, but I have friends who used to watch like maybe a few games a year and were just hanging out for the vibes that now watch like every Avalanche game just because hockey is blowing up in the right way. And it's just super fun to see. This is what you hope for a sport that your life revolves around. That
Right.
in our cases is literally our job every single day. So we probably get more benefit than most out of this, but it's cool to go into spaces and see stuff like that. Like not too long ago, y'all know I'm a big video gamer. I play online games like Counter-Strike, and it's not very often that I run into people that know who I am, but lately I've had a couple of, I jump into a game and someone's like, oh, are you actually Rudo? Like,
That's kind of crazy.
Let's talk about abs in the chat of this video game.
Oh.
And you notice things like that. And the sport is growing at a faster pace than I ever thought it would. Like, honestly, I had kind of, and I think most hockey fans have kind of accepted that they're the fourth of the big four in the North America, and that's never going to change. And that's probably still true. But the fact that viewership numbers are competitive with something like the NBA, the popularity of the sport is moving so rapidly in the right direction. It gives so much more opportunity to do cool stuff. And not to be a doomer, but I say all of this because NHL, don't screw it up. You have a chance to do something and really make this sport big in North America, and you don't have a great track record of making the right decisions in these situations.
No. If we're looking at the direction of anything fun in the league, I think of the All-Star game and the way that that's deteriorating.
Can we just skip?
Yeah, can this just be like a okay kind of thing? I would love to dive into that. I mean, obviously it's a long time away, but just breaking down how stupid it is. It's, again, I don't want to keep rehashing this point, but I feel like I'm getting friends who don't know anything about hockey. They'll text me on Snapchat and just be like, why are you not watching the Canes? Or what's going on? Why are you doing this instead of watching hockey? I'm getting so pumped about this. And I'm like, who even are you anymore? And that's just what the sport is coming to. I feel like I look back 5 years ago and I'm like, I'd be blown away if this is where the NHL were at. If I were seeing smaller markets like the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes doing numbers like this in the Stanley Cup final, like it blows my mind.
Yeah,
frankly,
it's super cool, and I hope that things work out. It's weird. I'm in my mid-30s now, so I'm like the target audience for everything. The NHL has never really done a good job of being hip and modern. Like, you need to skip me, NHL. Don't start bringing on bands from my childhood that I'm like rocking out to. Get with the bands that Bailey listens to and all the modern Gen Zers. Like, you gotta capitalize on this,
right? No, and I mean that's what they've been doing. I do really like these free concerts that they're doing before shows too. Like I mean, a lot of it's very catered to the markets that they're in. Like you get Brothers Osborne and Dan and Shay, which it's the South, of course. But then you get guys like Millennium, who we saw, did a collab with the Avalanche for their Stanley Cup run. And I do really like the little things that they're doing to kind of cater to people like that who want an experience. And oftentimes that is a younger audience.
Yeah. You have to. And I think this is a weird conversation with the hockey culture that I've had a couple times before, but we can have it again, of like, you as a diehard hockey fan love the sport. There's no doubt. We all love it. We're all nerds. We're all crazy for it. There's this weird sect of like hockey fans that are super gatekeepy, and it would be unfair to say this is just hockey fans. Every big sport, every big event has, this is our sport and we want it this way and we want to keep it this way. And if you don't care as much as we do, we don't want you.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Nope.
Casual fans are the lifeblood of pretty much everything. And with this big influx that hockey is experiencing, the NHL culture needs to be as welcoming as possible, and try and get these people to become the crazy diehards like the rest of us. But if they want to just be casual fans and watch, that's great too. It's the reason you see things like football and baseball and basketball be significantly more successful, is because there's a ton of casual fans of those sports that will tune in. And they loosely understand the sport and they cheer for the cool stuff and they don't really care about the bad stuff.
Right.
Hockey, for a very long time, has kind of had the gates closed to casual fans. Casual fans try to come in and they either make the jump to die hard or they kind of stop.
Well, what I love about that is the casual fans that I'll run into and see tweets from every now and again too, is like, everybody give me their favorite player or whatever. And you see all of these people rally around the sport and it's so fun to me. I know this is probably more my wheelhouse than yours too, but like book talk has become like a huge proponent of that too. And all of these hockey romance books being getting their TV adaptations. You see Heated Rivalry gain the traction it did. Off Campus is doing incredible numbers right now, and that has a large part to do with it.
For sure,
is it like it's that casual fan base of like, I didn't realize hockey was as cool of a thing as it seems here on my screen or here in these books.
Well, and I think like coming from like a film and media perspective, like you grow up seeing casually basketball, football, baseball, soccer, kind of just like in the background of things, right? Like unless you watch like the Mighty Ducks series that's on Disney Plus or, some like very specific things, like hockey's not really in pop culture.
Yeah.
And
it's very niche.
Yeah, and now it is. And so I think that's huge for casual fans. Just be like, what's that sport they're playing in the background of the show here?
Right.
Again, to tie it back into like, oh, the Marner storyline with Toronto, there's drama there, right?
Yep.
That is
People can dig into that.
not necessarily directly related to the sports performance drama. And I don't think hockey's ever going to have like real basketball wives or content like that necessarily, but
Right.
you can definitely add to it by creating content like the shows you mentioned or otherwise, like internet content. There's plenty of YouTube stuff out there that is ranges
I mean,
from,
you have Joey Dackert, who's becoming his
Right,
own little
yeah,
YouTube influencer.
right.
Fyodor Kochetkov is doing some Instagram content. Like, it's expanding.
Yeah.
Well, and
consistently.
as somebody that's like chronically online and on TikTok, there are so many good, like, well-informed, passionate, casual hockey accounts like coming up and around, and like they're out there. Like, you just have to find them and click with them and join those communities, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah. I also think, too, what's so inspiring to me about this conversation in particular is that of the four sports, hockey is the least accessible.
Oh, for sure. By far.
Looking at football, basketball, baseball, like those are all sports that I feel like I grew up in states like North Carolina, and everybody plays some version of that, or soccer or whatever. But hockey didn't become a bigger thing until around when I was in high school and had already left and come out to Colorado.
Yep.
And it's so inspiring and exciting for me to see just how many of the kids I grew up with or people who were a little younger than me, who were in my parents' circles, who were playing hockey or got into hockey before they graduated, and that youth boom has really started. And that plays a large part into it too, because now these kids are getting exposed to a sport. Yes, it's more expensive of the other three, but they want to go and watch the greats. They want to go and be part of like these conversations where they can say, hey, my hometown team won.
Yep.
Like, or at least they were in the Stanley Cup final. Like, that's so exciting to me.
A good point from A-Wolf in the chat here. Number one thing on the NHL's list should be getting rid of local blackouts for streaming. Full stop. Like,
Absolutely.
absolutely horrendous that
I
they
don't
exist.
know why that is still a thing.
Yeah. Just get rid of it. It's not that hard.
Yeah, blackouts are it's such a wall.
Yep.
Right, for those local casual fans who are like, you're not going to go out of your way to go and purchase an Altitude Plus, or like you want to get the ESPN Plus package because you want to watch your team, not because you want to go watch the 30 other teams that are not playing on your screen
Right.
go and play. Like, if you're diehards like us and you want to go and see what those other players are up to, like, that's one thing, but that's why Altitude exists, but you don't get the national coverage of it. Like, if you want to expand your horizons that way, it's very poorly inaccessible.
Yep. And, there's some realities of that in the current world we live in, where we're living through the evolution of the streaming era, and there's 17 different apps that you need to watch everything.
17 different networks that you have to go to access the games.
And that's somewhat true of all major sports right now.
Right.
But we've seen, especially over the last decade or so, the NHL have success taking risks, doing things other organizations weren't willing to do. Expanding to Vegas. Wildly successful for them.
right.
Willing to put on this Four Nations, or before that it was the World Cup with the 8 teams and the Young Guns stuff. And that one was before the NBA even did their in-season tournament stuff. It was the first non-soccer league in North America that kind of did a tournament-style thing like that. And these things have, with that, it took a little bit more evolution of, you had to get to this Four Nations thing that really blew it up. But the NHL has to be an organization that is willing to take risks and do things that other sports organizations are not, to get those legs up. And it's worked. Like, we've clearly seen the game grow significantly over the last decade. Whether you're annoyed by the expansion or some of the blackout issues that nobody likes, but they've taken steps to get the game to more people, to create more intrigue, to do more stuff to push the NHL forward. And it's put the NHL in a really good spot when it comes to things like, the salary cap's going crazy, which leads to more opportunity for more guys. And I know everyone would love to say, hey, everyone plays these sports for the love of the game, but that's not really true, right? If kids and parents and families see, hockey players make that much money,
we can invest
like it or
into
not,
this
more
a little
people are going to commit. Yeah.
Right.
And it's really fun to watch the NHL grow like this. And I'm super excited for like what the future holds for the NHL. Again, they could screw it up and then we all hate this, but yeah, if you asked me when I started at DNVR if the NHL would grow into what it has over the last 6-7 years, I wouldn't have guessed as much.
No, not at all. I don't know as though I have a whole lot more to add to this conversation
not
as
really.
we start to wind down here.
Just thought it was interesting. Wanted to give the NHL some credit for growing the game.
We don't do that very often.
There's plenty of things to be mad about with the NHL. Don't get me wrong. They do a lot of stupid stuff.
That's what I'm saying. When we can give them duly deserved credit,
Yep.
It's a good thing.
Yep.
That's where we're going to wrap things up here at the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We've got a lot more content prepared for you guys, including finally the postmortem presser to end the season. Joe Sakic speaking to the media on Thursday at noon. I will be calling into the show to give you guys some insights from that. But until tomorrow, this has been the DNVR Avalanche podcast. We will see you guys later.
We all silly like the mayor.